Hello guys, welcome back to my video series. I'm going to do something a bit different this week and start looking at phasing within Revit. If you just do predominantly new builds, you might not have explored the phasing element within Revit. It's more tailored towards, well, the way I use it is for existing and proposed elements within existing buildings. So in front of you is a planning application I've just completed. So if I show you the the sheet with all of the different views on it. So on the left hand side here you can see the existing ones. That's my floor plan and my elevations, and my proposed views on the right, and my floor plan you can see the new elements in the purpley colour, and the grey shows the existing element, and my 3D view down the bottom here. If I go to 3D view, it's probably the quickest way to show you how this is all achieved. So at the moment this is set to a new construction element, and you can see the proposed clad extension to the rear. And if I change that to existing, you can see the previous conservatory that was there. So I start by drawing all of my stuff in an existing view, and you can see all of the grey elements around here, and then the conservatory over there, and I flick down, and then this is my proposed view that I was just showing you on the sheet. So it just saves times because you only have to draw it once, and then you can select the element and filter it. So if I click on one of my existing walls here, you can see it's an existing wall, and the demolished phase is set to none because it's staying there. If I go to one of my new walls, you can see new construction, phase demolished is set to none because if it's a new wall, it's obviously staying. So it's worth spending a bit of time setting this up in your template to get it so when you start knocking out the projects, you'll be able to just draw it, set the walls to what phase you want them to be, and they'll automatically filter and display as you want. So that's my floor plan views, and I've got the same obviously for my elevation views. So if I get to a rear elevation view, again showing it there, and again the only difference is the phase is set to existing. If I change that to new, you'll see the new elements. So it's filtering out the old and new, and it can also do graphical overrides, which is where the purple color comes from in the floor plan. I have a phase filter set for my elevation views, so it shows the texture of the new and the old elements, and that's still used on my proposed elevations as well, and you can see the phase is set to new construction. But you can apply this to any view, a 3D view. So this is set to new construction. If I change that to existing, again it flicks back to the previous elements that are shown on there. So how is this achieved? It's probably easy if I show you on a plain project which hasn't been started. So if I just go up to walls here, and if I start into an existing view, start drawing some walls, you'll see that there's no color on applied to them, and they're set to existing. Because I've drawn it in an existing floor plan, the phase is set to existing. So if you were to do it in a proposed one, it would do it to there. Now, if I was to set these two end walls from existing, change them to new construction, you'll see they disappear because obviously new elements can't be in an existing floor plan. But if I change it to the proposed, you'll see that the two end walls, excuse me, are set into the purple color. And if I was to change these to existing and to set these two to new construction, then you'll see that those two will go. So this is all done. If you go up to manage and go phases, so the first thing you've got is the different phases within the project. I keep mine very simple. If you were doing a big site with multiple different phases, you could have loads of different phase filters, maybe phase one of a site, phase two, and so on. I keep mine simple for my one, existing and new. Your phase filters. Um, Again, I would ignore demolished and temporary. They can come in handy on bigger projects. I just look at new and existing. And how I have mine set, so I have a construction view for my building regulation drawings. I put that on by category and existing overridden. Show complete, which is for my floor plans, overridden. So I have it so you can just see this blocked hatch out here. It's just a bit easier for the planning agents to read. And show elevation, my elevation views by category says no overrides applied to the elevation view, regardless of whether it's existing or proposed. I'll explain why on that a bit later. And the graphic override. So this is kind of the engine room of the phasing, really, what you want to happen. So again, ignore demolished and temporary, just concentrate on new and existing. So on the existing, I have a grey hatch in the cut thing, because obviously a floor plan's cutting through, and I have a solid fill applied and just a grey on there. You could choose black or grey or whatever you like. And for the proposed elements, I have this kind of burgundy colour on here. But sky's the limit on here, really. You can have a material that is applied to show for the 3D views to show a texture. Or for example, if I was to go down to here and I say for some reason I wanted a green outline, uh, change that, and you'll see that the proposed elements now have a green outline on them. So anything you want can be done within this. Again, I try and keep it simple. I just have the two elements set up, and that keeps it quite nice and simple for that bit. Now, if I was to go to a 3D view to illustrate, you'll see, so some of these walls are existing, some of them are new construction. So within this view, because I've got a show elevation phase filter over the top with no overrides on, so they default to just to show the texture. If I was to show this as show complete, and because I haven't got an override on for the 3D element for this, you see it's all gone grey, but the show elevation will keep all the textures onto there. And this is how I've set up my template. So I have a elevation view which is set to a construction view, and I have an existing one and a proposed one which is for my planning views. So existing phase, got elevation and new construction, which is going to show the proposed elements. So if I go back to my previous project, so I'll draw these elements once on a floor plan, and because I've got the views all set up within the phasing, it will just kind of take care of itself relatively. So I can just quickly, I normally start obviously by drawing the existing elements up, getting them all onto the sheet, and then draw my proposed floor plans and proposed elevations, put them on the sheet, and then like I said, it kind of takes care of itself once the template's set up, and it'll display how I want it to be. I mean, some people might like their the existing element to be grayed out on an elevation view. So if we set that to, there you go. So if I set that to show all, for example, you'll see all of the existing elements now are grayed out. The proposed elements are in with the texture on. So there's some people might look at that view. I like to keep my elevation views to show how the existing proposed textures are going to sit with the existing elements. So you can see the brick and you can see the cladding on here. It was quite simple, flat roof, rear extension people required. But yeah, sky's the limit on that. So that's just my quick introduction to phasing. There's not much else to talk about really. If I go to I'll just quickly mention. So if you go to the view here, and just change this to a new construction view, and let's make that go. So any element within here can be changed. So that window was previously set to existing, and demolish no, because the window's staying there regardless of the phase. But if I was to change that to new construction, the Revit knows that it was an existing window and it's demolished at the new construction phase, so not to show it. So it's overriding it, it's filtering out the different elements, and there's you can do a lot of things with this with templates, and sorry, with schedules. So you can schedule for new elements and proposed elements, and it can be a really powerful tool. But just thought I'd give you a quick introduction today to phasing. Any questions, drop it in the comments.